Welcome! Today we're going to talk about this awesome 2020 Tesla Model 3 Long Range all-wheel drive that we have for sale. One fantastic battery electric vehicle. The pre-owned Tesla market has reached an affordable price point. A couple of years ago, Teslas, if you wanted to get a used Tesla, they were, $40,000, $50,000, sometimes more. You don't have to tell me I bought my Tesla 2 years ago. But Tesla has made millions of Teslas since then, and there's a ton of them on the pre-owned market. And on top of that, Tesla has actually reduced their price significantly of their new vehicles versus what they were priced at a couple years ago, just because they are able to make that much more. Back in towards the COVID days, manufacturing was limited just because there's a shortage of parts like semiconductors, things like that. But that's not the case today. So there are plenty of nice Teslas like this that are available in the $30,000 and under price range, which right now for the average price of a decent used cars, that's right there smack dab in the average price point for a nice used vehicle. A couple of years ago, $40,000, $50,000, that was kind of more like luxury car territory. Now this is getting closer to pretty much everybody territory. Battery electric vehicle is a great proposition for a lot of people. Not only is it going to save you money on electricity versus gas, but you're also going to save a lot of money on maintenance, because Teslas don't have, EVs don't have as many moving parts and complexity as gas cars. Gas cars have thousands of moving parts, where an EV like this Tesla only has dozens. So there's no expensive 60, 90K services, no timing belts to change, no complex emission control systems that could go bad, or someone trying to steal your catalytic converter. Not too long ago, I actually had to repair my gas gauge that was broken on my car. Ironically, that was $500. But I also have a Tesla 2, and I've had that Tesla for a couple of years, and luckily I haven't had to do much maintenance on that at all, except just basic stuff like wiper blades. I recently had to put tires on. Tires will probably be the biggest maintenance item. And thanks to regenerative braking with EVs, your brakes last a long time. Your brakes could go, on Teslas, could go 150,000, 200 plus thousand miles, because a lot of times you're actually using the electric motors to slow down the vehicle and put the energy back in the batteries versus the actual brakes. So brakes just last so long on EVs. So 2020 Tesla Model 3 Long Range all-wheel drive has a fully charged range of about 300 miles. But the thing with Teslas, the long range versions generally have what we call lithium-ion batteries. So lithium-ion batteries, they really only like to be charged to 80% for daily use. That will make sure that they last a long time and they're happy and healthy. So Tesla has a slider right here where you can control the charge state. So once you put it at a certain level, 60%, you can put it pretty much at any percentage, but 80% is what Tesla recommends for daily use. It won't charge past that. You can leave it plugged in for a week. It won't charge past 80%. It'll stop right there. But it's perfectly fine every once in a while to charge it to 100%. They give you a little warning label, a little warning message for road trips. But you can see right now we're charged a little bit over 80%, under 80%, and we have about 219 miles of range. Plenty of range for most people within their daily commutes. Most people will use probably less than 100 miles a day. And then, when it comes to traveling, Tesla has the amazing supercharging network. We can see here that for superchargers, just within 6 miles of us, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 superchargers. And it's always good to navigate to the supercharger, because the battery will precondition itself for faster charging. That's really important in colder weather, especially when it's below freezing, to precondition your battery for fast charging. You can see it's doing it right now. Not as much as an issue when it's 71 degrees out, but when it's like 5 degrees out, 20 degrees out, that'll make it charge a lot more efficiently. People actually sometimes have charging issues when it's really, really cold out, and they don't precondition their battery before fast charging. So it's always good to navigate to the supercharger, even though if you know where it is, so the battery will precondition for faster charging. And then Tesla has an amazing trip planner. The trip planner uses complex algorithms. It figures out outside temperature, wind speed, all sorts of stuff, tire pressure, elevation, to have a very accurate range estimate for where you're going. And it takes out the range anxiety of owning an EV. For instance, if I wanted to drive all the way across the country to my home town of Boston, Mass, you put it right in the trip planner, and it'll plan the trip out for you. You can pretty much drive almost anywhere in the United States with Tesla's supercharging network, and you can get to wherever you want to go. And it's pretty amazing. And we can see it figured out the trip. You're going to have to charge a few times, more than a few times, but as you can see, it's pretty much possible to drive almost anywhere in the United States with Tesla's amazing supercharging network and using that trip planner. And people kind of ridicule Teslas for their lack of buttons and a sparse interior. I like the sparse interior. It's almost like a sensory deprivation chamber because it's very quiet in here. There's no vibrating engine sounds, exhaust sounds. It's very quiet. They use acoustic glass to make it even quieter in the interior. And it's not overly cluttered with buttons or knobs. All the functionality is in this screen. But the thing is that hard buttons and knobs are there forever. This screen is infinitely reconfigurable. They're constantly updating it and adding features. Recently we had this new feature where you can have weather updates. You hit a button right there and it gives you today's weather. And you have a little icon there if it's cloudy or if it's raining. It'll have a little icon there that, so right now it's overcast so you can see clouds. If it was sunny out, they'd have a little sun icon. And then they've added Amazon Music, they've added Audible, Apple Music, Spotify. One of my favorites is YouTube Music, which I use. They recently added that, so I can just connect that to my YouTube Music account and I can stream music right through the infotainment system. I don't even have to worry about using my phone. But for a lot of these systems, you do need to subscribe to premium connectivity. It's well worth it. It's $10 a month and it allows you to stream through the vehicle's onboard solid data device. And it works pretty good. And then on top of that, when you're parked, you can't do this while you're driving. You can watch, Netflix, YouTube, things like that, which is really nice too. Like if your spouse is in the grocery store, you're stuck in the car with your kids, things like that. That helps pass the time away. Yeah, so much to talk about. Another update not too long ago is that they did blind spot cameras. This car was out for pretty much a year. Then one day it got an update and it has blind spot cameras. So this is a vehicle that actually gets better the older it gets. Tesla, kind of like your iPhone, it's constantly getting updated to keep it relevant, adding features and making it safer. They're constantly also updating like the safety features. They recently added like parental controls if you're also going to use this car with kids, things like that. Yeah. And then on top of that, you can play video games. This is pretty cool. You can actually use the actual steering wheel and gas and brake pedal of the car to drive the vehicle in the game. They're constantly adding games, and you can also get like a USB Xbox style controller to play the video games. You don't necessarily need to use your fingers or the screen. Then the toy box, they're constantly adding features too. Like it can give you a cool sound when you lock the vehicle. You can have a megaphone update where you can actually talk through the horn. You can change the sound of the horn to like a goat or an applause, la cucaracha, things like that. Some of the stuff is silly. Some of the stuff is, actually helpful. You can have it play a light show. You have a colorizer, so if you actually have a wrap, you can have your car's avatar match the color of your wrap, which is pretty cool. A multi-track recorder. So much to talk about. I could go on and on about all the features of this car. Really easy to use climate control system. This one has heated seats for the front and rear. There's also a lot of voice commands as well, so you don't always have to use the screen. For instance, you can use your voice commands to like change the temperature. For instance, make it warmer, and it'll keep on making it warmer by 3 degrees. So you can keep on saying that, or you can say make it cooler. Make it cooler. Likewise, it will decrease the temperature by 3 degrees every time you say that. Rear defroster on. So there's 150 different voice commands, so you can do a lot of stuff without even having to look down off the road, aside from swiping through the screen. But it's like an iPad. You get used to it. You can control the dynamics of the vehicle. We have autopilot, which is Tesla's amazing traffic aware cruise control, which allows the vehicle to brake and accelerate and steer in its own lane. It not just doesn't just work on the highway, actually can work on regular roads. It's not full self-driving. It does have limitations. It's not going to change lanes. It's not going to stop for stop signs. It's not going to stop for red lights. But you can get a lot of mileage out of it on these back roads. Pretty much any road with lines in it that it can read, you can operate autopilot, and it works fantastic. Then we have an amazing camera system. This basically has 8 cameras all the way around it that's constantly recording stuff. So there's Sentry mode, which will record any movement. So if someone vandalizes your car or even gets near it, it'll record it. But on top of that, it will record while you're driving, and that can be very helpful. Here is some footage of one of our employees who owns a Tesla. He was rear-ended in an accident, and it was all caught on camera. Here's another video of this weirdo, a homeless person that had to throw off their lot. That was completely all caught on camera as well. And there's another video of a vehicle that was spilling trash all over the highway. It was actually a government vehicle, believe it or not. So yeah, you know, there's a lot of stuff that can be helpful with that camera system, and I don't know any vehicle that has it to the ability of Tesla. I know some vehicles have like dash cams front and rear, but like a 360-degree dash cam, I think Tesla's one of the only company that has something like that. Also like to mention that this one also has the acceleration boost upgrade that comes with the vehicle. Normally it's a $2,000 in-app purchase, and that lowers the 0 to 60 to around 3.7 seconds. So this is really, really quick. 3.7 seconds is like sports car or almost supercar territory. Very fast, very fun. This has the optional white interior, very nice. Not the most kid-friendly, but it looks nice if you like lighter interior colors. They removed the wheel covers off this one, and it has a little bit more of an exposed look, but you can get the wheel covers from Tesla, pop them back on. There's also a lot of ones like on Amazon if you want a little bit of a different style. Since there's no engine up here, we have a frunk, giving you more cargo space. Very helpful. It's also a safety feature because you have all this space to absorb crash energy in a frontal collision. In fact, when the NHTSA first tested the Model 3, it's the safest vehicle they've ever tested out of any other vehicle on the road. The lowest probability of injury in an accident in the Model 3 when the NHT tested out of any other vehicle they tested. Pretty amazing stuff. So it's not only one of the most technologically advanced, one of the coolest, one of the quickest vehicles on the road, but it's also one of the safest, which is important for a lot of people. And even though this is a compact, you have lots of interior space. You don't have drive shafts or exhaust pipes and stuff, so it allows for a nice clean sheet design on the interior, generally giving you more space than a comparable gas-powered vehicle of the same size. Also a lot of trunk space. And there's additional storage under here since there's no exhaust system or gas tank. I've had a Tesla Model 3 for 2 years. I've been buying and selling Teslas at our dealership for about 4 years. We've bought and sold hundreds of them. They're very reliable vehicles. You have a lot of warranty in the battery and drive units. This one has warranty on the battery and drive units till 2028. And I'm pretty sure it's 120 or 125,000 miles. And batteries last a long time in Teslas. There's a lot of Model 3s out there with 200 plus thousand miles on the original batteries. So it's quite possible to go 200. There's that cool locking sound. It's quite possible to go 200,000-300,000 miles, if not more, on the original battery on a Tesla. They last a long time. It's not very common that batteries fail in EVs. It's a little bit of disinformation out there. Generally, gas cars, the average lifespan of a gas car is 150,000 miles, and we're now finding, since they've been out for a while, we've had Model 3s out since 2017. The first Teslas came out right around 2012. We're starting to see examples of these EVs with 200, 300, 400,000 miles on them, still on the original batteries. So they're actually proving to be more reliable and lasting longer than gas cars. Like I said, the average lifespan of a gas car is 150,000 miles, and people are getting pretty easily 200 plus thousand miles out of their Model 3s. Well, there you have it, a beautiful example of a pre-owned 2020 Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon, and have a wonderful day.